Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 337.
337.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. There are so many changes happening at the parks and resorts, including the Star Wars Rise of the Resistance boarding groups, new restaurants, new rides, new everything, new resorts. So I definitely recommend booking with MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and they can help you with that. Back when I was a travel agent, I didn't need to know quite so much. I did the dining and I did the resort, and I didn't really have to. There's so much to know now.
That's right. No magic bands back then. A lot less advanced planning. So check out MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel for all your travel needs.
And over 20 years in the business now.
So we're going to start the show here at the Magic Kingdom, and it is the Super Bowl celebration parade, and you're about to see Patrick Mahomes from the Kansas City Chiefs. He is the Super Bowl MVP this year.
So this is like a pre-parade before the
Festival
Disney,
of Fantasy.
Yes, Disney's Festival of Fantasy Parade. And it's really a very nice thing that they do here, and it gets so busy, and we were very fortunate. We were invited to have a spot and also to be in the garden with him for a group interview. And you can see Donald here. So Disney gave Make-A-Wish $1 million, and they are like a participant here. And I thought that was very nice.
Well, back in 2012, he had mentioned that his dream was to be able to say, I'm going to Disney World. And he was able to make that dream come true. That added to the story this year.
And he's only 24 years old, and he's like the second youngest Super Bowl MVP, I believe that is. Mm-hmm. Or I think that's amazing. He's so young, and I just think it's so awesome. And he's next to Mickey Mouse there, and he's next to Goofy, and Chip and Dale are in the back, and we just saw Chip and Dale in passing. Donald is with a family, including Nathaniel from Make-A-Wish. And I thought that was a very nice partnership as well.
Yeah, this is something really, it's one of the benefits of living here in Florida. Most years you could watch the Super Bowl, as we did. We went to a Super Bowl party, and we see all this happening, and then the very next day you can go and see the MVP live right at the Magic Kingdom. On most years, sometimes they go to Disneyland, but it's a really a nice little treat.
And I think was it Disneyland last year?
No, it was.
Was it here? We've gone to a number of them, but we haven't gone to all of them, and never at Disneyland. So here they go, and I just think this is a really nice bonus for guests who are fans of football or of the Kansas City Chiefs.
And let's not forget the characters. We're big fans of the characters, so it's a little bonus to see them dressed in the sports attire. Now, we did have, as you mentioned, we had a chance to interview, a group interview with Patrick Mahomes, and some of the questions that were asked involved his history with Disney and Walt Disney World. So here is the little bit. We just cut it down to the Disney questions, but here is Patrick Mahomes.
So when did that I'm going to Disney World moment come in for you?
Yeah, I remember watching a lot of the Super Bowls, and then knowing that I wanted to be able to say that and be able to win the Super Bowl. And then I knew what a feeling that could be. That was something I always wanted to do. And then whenever I won the game, and then they came up to me and told me it was amazing to be able to say those words and to be here now.
Your favorite mountain, Slab, Desert, or Space Mountain?
Space Mountain for sure, 100%.
Have you been to Disney much? You grew up going to Disney much?
I've been a couple times. I went when I was really young. My dad was playing spring training out here in Florida, and so I got to come. And then I got to go last year when I was at the Pro Bowl, and I got to go through a lot of the parks and do a lot of the rides.
I know that your trip today is short here, but if you get to ride anything, did you get to go on Rise of the Resistance?
I did. I went on the Rise of the Resistance, and it was awesome. And so I watched my fair amount of Star Wars, and so I understand a lot of it, and so it was sweet, and it actually got me a little bit. It had a little part in there. I'm not going to give away any secrets that got me.
Thanks very much.
Thank y'all.
And if you didn't see the Disney Parks live stream, they show him on Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. So you can still find that online.
Oh, I have not seen that. So this is the first I'm hearing. I'll have to go check it out myself.
I thought I told you.
No.
Okay.
Clearly not.
So we toured many resorts and dined at many restaurants.
Yes, this is continuation, part 2 of our dining and resort. What
tour.
would you call it?
Resort showcase.
Yes, showcase. That's the word I was looking for.
We're at the All-Star Movies, Disney's All-Star Movies Resort, which is completely different inside than the last time that I was in a room at the resort. And, a lot of the rooms are being refurbished on Walt Disney World property, and most of them look quite different than they did. I actually like this. I looked back at pictures, and it was really like stars everywhere, and I know that's the theme, but I kind of like this. It's, a little more subdued than the outside. You come in and it's a nice subdued room, but with some Disney artwork and including when that bed pulls down.
Well, it's cleaner and more modern. I know that big, thick bedspreads. What would you call those things that used to be on the bed?
They had the bedspread, and then after that they had the bed runners.
Right.
But
right.
everything ends up on the floor.
Those have fallen out of favor, probably for that reason.
And pillows and all that. Everything ends up on the floor except for like sheets, and that's probably why.
Oh, and this is
that's
the
on the
pull
bed.
down, the bonus pull down bed here.
And we're in a preferred location room in the Dalmatian section, and it's, I'm just trying to figure out what we have: one king bed or one queen and one queen table bed. So this is a table bed, which I never really thought of that as the name of this.
Right.
I always just thought of it as a pull down bed, but that is their terminology.
Well, it is a table when
Mm-hmm.
you put it up, and that's actually very handy. I would prefer to have a table bed than 2 queen size.
And I probably already mentioned this last week, but I really like that the All-Stars, the values, the moderates, the deluxes, they all have that great H2O shampoos
Mm-hmm.
and the Joffreys and just everything similar.
So these characters are looking through Viewmaster type devices at this secret menu here at Disney's All-Star Movies.
And we're also looking at cupcakes, but yeah, they've had the secret menus actually since 2017. I didn't know that. We don't really utilize the food court there too much. We've had probably a cupcake or something here before. They have this Tinkerbell cupcake and then a variety of others. And we're just doing a quick showing of it because cupcakes come and go and they change them up all the time, really all the time. I mean, there might be 1 or 2 here that will stay around for a while, but generally, every day it seems like there's a new cupcake.
So our next stop was here at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort.
So Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, unlike Disney's All-Star Movies, is a value resort. Disney's Coronado Springs Resort is a moderate, but it's always been an upgraded moderate in that you have like a fitness center and extra dining options and much more. So it really is a little more upgraded. And the room looks similar to what we just saw. There's some extra artwork on the walls for the 3 caballeros. I think we have a Keurig down there, and I'm not sure if the values, not everybody has a Keurig. Some do not. It's a different kind of coffee maker that I can't think of at the moment. We've got a Mickey towel on the bed, which I haven't seen those in a while, towel animals and such. I haven't seen them at the Disney resorts in a little while.
Well, what else is a little bit different is no rugs. A lot of these resorts that we've been seeing do not have rugs anymore. Hard floors now.
But some still do.
Right?
So like
Yeah.
when we stayed at Disney's Riviera Resort, the bedroom had a rug on it. So it's not all rugs gone, but most are. And then we have the bottles here, and most rooms on Walt Disney World property have the bottles. And I am such a fan of, and you are, of that sea marine. We buy it.
Yeah, we use it. I use it every day.
And I love that, that they have that here at the values and at the moderates. Here is more 3 caballeros artwork. And also, these are 2 queen beds. So I had to look up all the different beds because, that has changed through the years as well.
And you just saw USBs. There's tons of USB ports in these new resorts. So that's one thing they've really stepped up their game with.
And I like the rooms here, although I am a fan of the Gran Destino Tower. I think, if you're going to stay at Disney's Coronado Springs Resort, that's just a little bump up, but if you're going to stay at the Casitas, that's right next to the convention center.
And speaking of the Gran Destino, here we are now at Toledo.
Toledo Tapas Steak and Seafood. And this was where we dined after our tour.
Night number 2.
I can't eat, we ate so much and toured so much. It's hard to know what was 1, 2, and 3. But it was just a fantastic overview. And so we had a special menu, which had, items that were from the regular menu, but we didn't have the full menu. I did not try a number of the different items. I think
You're not
olives.
really an olive fan, but I am. I did try the olives, and they were very good, of course.
I have olive oil every day, just not.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Well, when we ate at Topolino's, they had that olive oil that was very strong. I just like kind of more of a mild. And we also tried just a number of different items off of the menu. You tried some of the cheeses and the bread and such.
But speaking of the bread, I think this was one of your favorite appetizer items.
I ate like 3 of those, the tomato bread.
They were very good. Very good.
It was really nice because a lot of times you get that and it's, at other restaurants and it gets kind of soggy, but theirs was not. And it was so delicious. And then we also had a romaine salad, which was very nice. It was
okay.
romaine.
It was nothing special for me as far as the salad.
No, it was a romaine salad, and I thought it was nice, but I don't know if I'd order it or not. Maybe, depending on my mood.
Well, this made up for it. The steak was fantastic. Why don't you give us the official name there?
This is a Manhattan steak, and then also we were able to, choose something on the side if we wanted like shrimp or scallops.
Right. I think I had the scallops, and you asked for the shrimp, which of course they all came to me. So I had a real surf and turf experience.
So the Manhattan steak is, I guess it's like a certain cut of the New York strip. I don't know that I've had a Manhattan before. I've had many New York strips and many fillets, but this was almost like having a fillet. It was delicious.
Oh, I would get it again. Didn't even need the knife.
I thought it was excellent. And also we tried creme brulee and also the Toledo Tapas bar. I like the creme brulee here, probably a little bit better.
Well, each bite had a different flavor, though, because
Right.
of the topping. So I thought that was very unique. And it was just hard. We were a bit full by the time
Right.
we experienced. So I know that was a bit difficult. And we have the minivans here to take us back to our resort.
They had the minivans take us a couple of times, which was very convenient. And then we went to Epcot that night and walked off our dinner.
And then the very next morning, it was to the Wave and for a big breakfast buffet.
Well, because we were eating so much, I don't think I went too big. And in fact, by accident, I ended up taking, biscuit gravy instead of oatmeal because it wasn't, I didn't know which one was which. But this is a look at the Wave. The Wave is actually a very popular buffet breakfast on Walt Disney World property. It is not my favorite. I thought Ale and Compass when we went there was way better even than our first time. I'm a Boma fan. I like Trails End breakfast, but this was still nice.
I must say, though, smoked salmon still in full force here at the Wave. I think the Wave is very solid. I am also a big fan of Eggs Benedict, and they always have that. So, it depends on your mood, I think.
And not only that, but there's a lot of things I don't eat. Like I eat hash browns.
Right.
I like potatoes, but I don't eat cheese hash browns.
Right, you won't want the cheese one.
So
yeah.
there's probably at least half of the items on the buffet. Sausage, I don't eat. Frittata, I don't eat. Eggs Benedict and Eggs Benedict, I don't eat. So if you like these items,
right, that's
like
where
you
for
do,
me it's probably a little bit more of an interest. There's the Eggs Benedict, and I think they do a great job with that here.
and like Boma has probably at least double the amount of items, so it's easy to pick and choose. Where here there's a lot of items, and you can see where it's like sausage gravy, oatmeal, and I went for the wrong one.
But the
It was so
star of
funny.
the show, as always, are these nice Mickey waffles.
Right, and I always enjoyed that, and I had a Mickey waffle, and I probably had a pancake, but I finally had some oatmeal because I really needed that, and also a yogurt.
So a little healthy option to go along with
Mm-hmm.
all that other stuff there.
But it's hard to eat, 3 full meals a day, and so I really tried to keep it light at this meal.
Deviled eggs, so good.
Again,
Not for you, though.
It's not as much a me buffet, so that's one thing. There's something for everybody on Walt Disney World property.
And there it is. There it is. I
The
love
smoked-
the smoked salmon. I wish that they would hear that at
Boma.
Boma and bring it back for
You should
breakfast.
you should say that.
Now, is this your famous plate with the gravy?
Yes,
That is
that is
gravy.
sausage gravy. But I had a little. You can see I have very basic.
That's a Denise plate right there.
I have very basic tastes a lot a time, and that's what
There's
I had.
a Jeff plate. Look at that. Oh boy, does that look good.
And yours was probably a little more varied. But if you're going to Magic Kingdom, the Wave is very convenient, and you can just walk between that and the Magic Kingdom in about 10 minutes.
So speaking of the Magic Kingdom, after breakfast we went to the very top, the overlook area, and we had some nice views here. And what a beautiful day! There is the Magic Kingdom.
It was a little cloudy on this day, and that was the only thing. And that's not bad because it means there's not as much glare, but we were up here probably for about 20 minutes because we had about a 1 hour sit down learning about enhancements at, Walt Disney World, as far as,
Like a presentation.
yes,
is what we had.
we had about a 1 hour presentation, and then we were able to spend a little time on the California Grill terrace and if we wanted to stay inside and just kind of look out the windows.
I always love that view, looking right down at the monorail going under into the hotel, actually.
I haven't been up here to the terrace in a while. I used to go up there quite some time, a long time ago. I'd eat up at the California Grill, but we don't too often. But I love, you can see those bungalows at Disney's Polynesian Resort. We're over there fairly often for Trader Sam's.
So now we're over. Our next stop was Disney's Caribbean Beach, and we're about to go into one of the pirate rooms.
So the pirate rooms, these have actually been here for about almost 10 years. And I think these were created, and I'm sure this is what I've heard. It sort of entices guests to stay in an area that really had nothing down here before. That has changed. That Spyglass Grill in the Disney Skyliner is really close by now. So you really have quite a bit down in Trinidad South. But these are double beds, which I have been asked about. They still are double beds. The room looks very similar to when we recorded it around 2012, something like that. So about 8 years ago. Not a lot has changed, but there are, some changes. There's that pirate curtain, which I somehow missed.
Well, you still have the themed rug here at this point, and you still have all those great pirate themings. Before you did have a quilt, or I guess it's called a quilt, or a big themed cover over the bed, and now it's a very nice, clean white looking bed.
But otherwise, it's very similar. You have I think it's the same
that was
shower
the same
curtain.
I compared our old video.
Oh, yeah. I looked at the video also just to kind of get an idea of how it looked. But again, very similar. You've got the beds look the same. The refrigerator looks the same with that barrel. And it really is something like, if kids love pirates, it really is very nice. It doesn't come with the water. And but being in Trinidad South now is a plus for the Disney Skyliner and that Spyglass Grill.
So our next stop was Disney's Art of Animation Resort, and we're in the Cars section, and we're going to look at a Cars room right now.
Now, Disney's Art of Animation Resort, the Cars section has been my favorite since opening. We have stayed in all the rooms. When it opened, we paid to stay in each room as they opened,
Right.
just for
Opening
a night.
at night for each one, yeah.
Right, and I would say of all the refurbished rooms I've seen, not just on the tour, but at other times as well, this is the closest to the original. It still has that same feel, same curtains, same lamps, same restroom.
Really, the bedspread is the only big change.
And it used to have carpeting. So, but otherwise, it really has held that same feel of, the whole Cars theme is excellent in here. So I think this is still going to be my favorite. The section is my favorite because I love, the
cozy
characters.
cone pool,
and
the cozy cone pool.
love the cozy cone pool.
You could get your own cone for free, no extra charge. It's first come, first serve.
Yes. Well, it's like a little cabana,
Yeah.
but it's a cone if you haven't seen it. And I think they did such a fantastic job in here, keeping it true to what it was.
It's like a convertible, that little couch
I
there.
love that.
And everything has themed, and it looks like you have a, toolbox there.
Right.
So nice. Again, this is one of my favorites, probably my favorite themed, really heavily themed rooms.
And still, I think in Disney's Art of Animation Resort, we were told all of the suites are done. We have not seen other suites. And Little Mermaid refurbishment is about to happen if it hasn't started already. And 6 adults can stay in here. There's 2 restrooms. It can get, I think with 6 adults, you're going to get a little cramped. It's essentially 2 rooms, put together. That's how family suites started out at Disney's All-Star Music Resort years ago. And so these actually were the first family suites to, Disney's Art of Animation is the only one that really started as a family suites resort.
Right, and I could see 2 couples, 2 friends that are 2 different couples can share this room, no problem, because each one would have their own bathroom, their own private bathroom. And as you can see, this is another one of those table beds, and he's going to pull it down. So you even have a bonus bed right here.
Yeah, and this has Mater on it. But
Sleepy
again,
Mater.
When I look back at our old video, it looks very similar. And I love this. I just think, there's something about Cars And even though Cars isn't my favorite Pixar movie, I just love walking through the land and seeing the different characters.
Well, it's almost like staying in Radiator Springs.
Right.
You know, when you walk out, you can go and take pictures with all the cars and everything. It's nice. We like to go there whenever we have friends in town. We'll take them over to the Art of Animation Resort just to walk around and enjoy the outside of the resort.
Well, it's like going to Disney's Disney California Adventure. You have Radiator Springs there, and that's a lot of fun. So now we are at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
They kept us going this day.
They kept us going, and this was the only resort I ever stayed at as a test stay. So I actually got to stay here before it officially opened, which I've said before.
In all the years we've been going here, I never knew this was a lion. It is a lion's head.
I don't know that I've never been told, but I don't remember that. So I thought that was a lot of fun.
So now we're going to take a look at a Savannah View room.
And of course, my favorite rooms are the Savannah View, so you can watch those animals right outside the room. Although I have stayed at pretty much just about every category at this point.
Including Kidani.
Including Kidani, this used to not be called Jumbo House. It used to be Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, and then DVC came in and Kidani, and they needed a new name. I really like this new look to the room. It looks quite a bit different than the old room, but it has a lot of character. Peter Dominic designed the resort, as he did Disney's Wilderness Lodge and Disney's Grand Californian. I had to look up to see about Sequoia Lodge, because Sequoia Lodge at Disneyland Paris feels similar, but it is not.
And here we are looking out on the Savannah from our balcony.
And I really like having the Savannah View room. I've stayed in most of the room types, as far as I've stayed at Standard View, I've stayed in Pool View, but there's just something about being able to sit out here and look at those animals, which I really love.
And hear them. I mean, I remember at night that we would leave the door open and just listen, and sometimes your eyes would get accustomed to the darkness and you'd see the animals after dark. So I loved it. We spent quite a few hours watching the animals from our balcony in the past.
Oh yes. I mean, this is probably the most unique resort on Walt Disney World property, and that's saying a lot, but being able to watch giraffes and zebras from your own balcony, to me it's really something special.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, I mean, the resort, the theming here is Lion King, in little ways.
So then we went to Jiko for a big group dinner.
And Jiko is a signature dining restaurant, just as Topolino's Terrace is, just as Toledo is. Now, this is the mushroom flatbread, and I just want to say also, Jiko has been one of my favorite signature dining locations since it opened, and I still think it's an excellent restaurant. And I know we're going to be showing the bread as well, which we really love.
Well, that mushroom flatbread, we went through it. Everybody went through that in minutes, and I think they had to bring more. It was so good. And Tusker, of course, Tusker beer. That's one of the things I remembered from when we stayed up at club level. They had this up there. I think they still do, and it's really good beer.
They do. Each of the club levels has a certain beer they like to serve. Now, this is a Jiko salad, which has greens from the land. It's a nice salad. I don't know that it's a special salad, but I enjoy it.
Well, it's special because it's one of the only places on Walt Disney World property you can actually get greens from the land.
Is it?
Grown from the boat ride.
I'm not even sure which restaurants. I think Garden Grill does.
They made a point to say that.
Okay, though. I missed it. So there is the bread also that we had.
Ripping bread or something like that?
I'm not sure what it's called, but it's good bread. There isn't that much bread that I don't like.
That's true. And that green, that sauce was amazing. So that was a great combination. We were already pretty full by the time we got our steaks here.
They always have a very good filet here. You had it with the macaroni and cheese, which is what it comes with.
Right. That's the standard version. And I thought you were very creative having it with these potatoes.
Well, it's not creative. I probably would have taken mashed potatoes normally, but this is the potatoes. I just said...
That looked really good.
I just said, any potato is fine. I don't eat macaroni and cheese. And I thought that was very nice, although I usually like a mashed with it, but I'm very big on roasted potatoes too.
So the only part that wasn't very popular with the group was the desserts had mixed reviews from our group.
The brownie was hard to cut into. So we didn't really even eat that one. And this is a milk tart. Is that how you call it? And this wasn't as popular either. I do recommend the malva pudding, which I've had many times, and that has always been excellent.
And again, we had minivans to take us back to the resort to get ready for Disney After Hours to cap off a pretty big day here. And one little tip, though, if you're going to go to Disney After Hours, get there early. Get there before the park officially closes, because you'll avoid all the day guests leaving here. You could see it was quite crowded. Although they did a great job, they had a little side entrance where we were able able to get in. And once we walked down Main Street, we were thinking, boy, for a after hours party, this looks pretty crowded. But the guests are all watching this show, and it was not even advertised. I think this is a Once Upon a Time projection show. And minutes later, I mean, literally while this is still going on, we walked over to Tomorrowland, and this is what it looked like in Tomorrowland. So that kind of draws the day guests out, and you're able to go on these rides. I went on Astro Orbiter with my friend Matt from Attractions Magazine, 0 wait, and you could never do that normally.
And I did People Mover a couple times just because I enjoy the People Mover.
Well, we all did, and they asked if you'd like to stay on, and of course you couldn't turn that down, being able to stay on the People Mover.
Well, I just want to say it was a little intimidating to get into the park. It was like 1 million people leaving and just a very small handful coming. So I do go before fireworks, go before that big rush of crowd. And it is much easier just to navigate. There wouldn't have been so much of a crowd at the turnstiles. So I definitely recommend that. And we had a really good time. It can be busier than this. This was a pretty empty night. It can be busier. I think Disney Villains After Hours will be a little busier as well.
And what we needed after all those meals was some extra bonus popcorn and soda and Mickey bars.
Well, that's included. You have the bottled beverages, and you have the popcorn, and then different ice cream novelty treats are included. When we've done all the Disney After Hours events we've done have been pretty empty. I know they can get a little busier than what we've seen, but generally ride lines shouldn't be long at all. Even Mine Train on this night, I think, was, a 10-minute wait or something.
I mean, we went on everything we wanted to. We actually were done with about 20 minutes left to the party, and we got a late start. So, you can really, if you just want to do all the rides, that's the way to go.
And it is an extra ticketed event, so you can check out ticket prices. Annual pass holders do get a discount, so check on that. End dates are online. And also the Villains event, again, I think will be a little busier than that because you do have entertainment as well. This was just a nice, quiet evening. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Check them out for, the deals. They can check on the best rates for you, but they also have over 20 years of experience and almost 100 agents, and they can help you out. And that is another show.
Yeah, that is another show. And as you mentioned before, next week we're going to be talking about Disney Villains After Hours, and we'll have a bigger update than we just did with the regular Disney After Hours. And they've had some new elements added to that. We will cover that fully. Also, we have a new opening happening tomorrow at Disney Springs.
Oh, right. The City Works is opening over by the NBA Experience, and that will give a new kind of sports bar experience over there. And we have not been to one before. They used to have one near Miami, but that has closed. So it'll be fun to kind of see something new. And Sunday I'm going to be like all about Epcot and whatever else while you're over at Daytona. So I'll be all over property.
That's right. It's Daytona Speedway time, Speed Weeks, and I'll be going to those events. But we'll still have plenty of Disney coverage while that's going on. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we will see you all next week.
Have a great week.